Spooky season. It is.
I can do like a sound effect of like a.
We're genuinely very excited because it's spooky season and everyone in Mr. B's loves spooky season, and it's October, which means that we get to dress up like Victorians and wear Halloween earrings for the entirety of the whole month. The October Booksellers dozen is back. We had a couple of months off. I myself had COVID, which was very fun, but we're finally returning to do a couple of videos to introduce you guys to the books. So the first book that I'm going to chat to you about is nice and gothic, nice and spooky, which is very fitting. It is called Burnt Coat and it's by Sarah Hall. This is a really interesting book to be reading at the moment. It has a strong setting in a lockdown, which obviously is very reminiscent of the last year and a half that we've all had. It follows a sculptor called Edith who has entered into this lockdown and decides to barricade herself in her house, which is called Burnt Coat. She's not alone though, she is with her new lover, Hallett. Though they don't know each other very well, and the space becomes one of those interesting atmospheres of two people trying to get by without really having the layout of their relationship already fully mapped out. It is non-linear, it is very lyrical, it's got a little gothic twist to it as well, and a really beautiful one to be reading on an October night. And the next one is a little bit of a personal love of mine. It's a bit of historical fiction. It is called Cathedral and it's by Ben Hopkins. The book follows the entire population of this town after the decision has been made to build a huge cathedral on the site. Everybody has something to gain for the building of this cathedral, and we follow a gentleman who decides that he wants to become a stonemason and sees this as an opportunity to make his worth. We see many other characters who are using the building of the cathedral for social gain, political gain, lots of scheming, lots of fascinating insights into 13th century society. It is going to be great for fans of Ken Follett and Hilary Mantel, and it has a slight Game of Thrones feel to it. On to a little bit of non-fiction now, and one of my colleague Tess's favourite books that she's reading at the moment is called Empire Land by Sathnam Sanghera. This book looks at the history of the British Empire, breaks it down into numerous different colonies and the histories of those colonies and its impact on the British Isles. It uses loads of contemporary reference points, loads of sources that we'll all find familiar rather than daunting, and is so easily accessible and incredibly important to be reading at this time. This book had loads of success in hardback, and now it's out in paperback. It's had so much wonderful feedback from people who say that it really is as accessible as it promises. So the next one is a little bit of light-hearted humour. This is a book by Nick Offerman and it's called Where the Deer and the Antelope Play. Those of you who are fans of American sitcoms might recognise the name. Nick Offerman is a very famous actor and comedian who starred in things like Parks and Rec. He decided a couple of years ago to take a number of walking tours of America. He's done these 3 trips with some friends of his, including George Saunders, the amazing short story writer who we love in the shop, and he takes these incredible journeys whilst chatting to his friends by foot, and looks at the landscape and the history of the places that he's walking through. It is obviously full of incredible humour, beautiful narrative description, and is going to be great for anyone who is a fan of Nick's or a fan of nature and travel writing in general. The kids' book that I'm going to talk about today is called Bandula and it's by William Grill. So this beautifully illustrated children's picture book is actually a true story following James Howard Williams, who was a Second World War veteran who took a trek across Burma with dozens of elephants and hundreds of refugees. He went on this epic journey with all of these people, and the journey is covered in this book with the most stunning illustrations. It is one that adults and kids alike will absolutely adore. So that's 5 of the 24 Booksellers dozen books that we have for this month. As always, you can get all of the other books in the link which is just below, to the PDF and the book list which is on our website. And as always, come and give us a shout if you want any more recommendations.